All right, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back here again for week number 8 of Pete's Power Rankings. Yes, I'm ranking all 32 NFL teams from worst to first. I'm watching 99% of all these games, taking notes, keeping tabs, breaking everything down for you. It's been a lot of fun. We're at the last week of October. I can't believe we're already this far into the season. We really seem to have a good grip on who are our bottom tier teams, who are our middle tier teams, who are kind of top playoff teams, and then the top of the top, the cream of the crop, the Super Bowl contenders. Everybody starts sliding into place here. Now, there is still some movement here, but let's just run through our bottom tier teams first before we get on to what everyone wants to see, the top 15. Let's go through 32 through 24 first, real quick. Okay, 32 through 24, my bottom tier teams. Houston Texans at the bottom here, just really not great against the Raiders coming off a bye. Just really, really bad. Panthers, nice win at 29, jumping them up 3 spots here, beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Maybe they needed to fire Matt Rule and trade away Christian McCaffrey. All of a sudden, they can win some football games. They're just one game back in the division. Absolutely crazy. Another nice performance from the Chicago Bears also. They were dreadful 11 days ago on Thursday night at home. Great showing offensively against the Patriots. 23 unanswered points after going down 14-10. So really positive steps for the offense. And then 24, the Cardinals. Cardinals bumping up 5 spots. Beat up a bad Saints team where really not a lot of people played. But DeAndre Hopkins was back. 100 yards for him in the first game back. They got a nice little break. They do have a real test coming up at the Vikings, who are coming off a bye. So if they can win that game, steal that game, they're really going to start flying up the boards. The offense looks so much better with Hopkins. Murray is so much more comfortable. And Robbie Anderson now can make an impact after getting a couple days in with the scheme. So I kind of like the way this Cardinals team is trending. All right, let's run through 23 through 16 now. The middle tier teams maybe can make some pushes to the playoff spots. A lot of surprising teams in this tier here. Real disappointments, honestly. Okay, yeah, the Commanders, a huge win with Taylor Heineke at home against the Green Bay Packers. Gonna bump them up 5 spots into this middle tier. They've won 2 in a row. Now the division is so stacked, so they're really gonna be hard pressed to find themselves in a playoff spot here. But hey, you never know. We've never had all 4 teams get into the playoffs. They now have 3 wildcard teams, so maybe the NFC East this year is the first team to do it. But I like what I saw out of the Commanders. Packers, man, I've been saying it all year. I'm not a big buyer in this team. They lost again to this Commanders team. Offense looks abysmal. Aaron Rodgers might retire mid-year. He is not happy playing football anymore. They're all the way down to 20. Another bad loss for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here at 16, minus 8 spots. A dreadful loss that they managed only 3 points against this lowly Panthers team. Something is not right. The offense just cannot get it going. It's so frustrating. You can just see it on Tom Brady's face. They aren't protecting well. They aren't catching passes. It's just a real kind of dumpster fire for this Buccaneers team. So hopefully they get this thing straightened out. I got them all the way down here at 16, finally out of my top 15. But hey, it is the Buccaneers. They are still tied for first in the division, so anything can happen. But let's just hop right into it, our number 15 team in the league. But before we get into that, drop a like on this video real quick. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Really helps the channel out a lot. And all right, number 15. Interesting squad here, but they're just scraping into 15 after a really down performance from them this week. Okay, number 15, like I said, down 5 spots here, the LA Chargers. Horrible loss at home against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Seattle's not that bad, but man, they just looked bad. The Chargers, they've managed nothing on offense the last 2 weeks. They can't seem to get anything going. They're running the ball okay, and they're getting Austin Eckler the ball, but Keenan Allen's been out. He managed 1 catch in his return, and now they just lost Mike Williams, who was bearing the brunt of the offense from a receiving standpoint at wide receiver to a high ankle sprain, so he's going to be out a few weeks. The defense isn't good. They can't stop the run or the pass now. Brandon Staley is a bad head coach. I just don't get what he is doing. You got to get young offensive coaches with these young quarterbacks here so they aren't just trying to figure it out on his own. It feels like Herbert's by himself. I don't even know who the offensive coordinator is in Los Angeles for the Chargers. He just looks all sorts of lost by himself. Nobody's helping him, and he's struggling a bit there. So this Chargers team got him down all the way to 15. They can still stay in the hunt in the AFC West. They ain't winning that division by any stretch, but they can get in this playoff hunt. But just they really need to get this figured out. Very disappointing from the Chargers, and the injuries now are really starting to mount up. Okay, at number 14, up 5 spots. I just talked about them. Cracking the top 15 for the first time this year. The Seattle Seahawks. Yes, Geno Smith, man. This is a resurgence. Maybe he was just a little too young, a little too immature for being in New York as a young man, but he was a first-round quarterback, and he's starting to play like a guy who was drafted in the first round. Does a great job. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's not prone to making mistakes. He's very, very careful with the rock, and they can absolutely pound the football and play good defense in Seattle. Kenneth Walker filling in for hurt Rashad Penny has been an absolute monster. They are absolutely carving things up. I really got to give it to Pete Carroll here. It looked like this was a complete blow up here. They were tanking for a bad pick. They are now in first place in the NFC West. Unbelievable to say, at 4-3. They've been really strong on the ground. They take care of the football. Geno's been very accurate. The defense has been good. Now, they did just lose DK Metcalf to a patella injury, so they're in bad shape. When it comes to that, you still got Lockett. You're still going to lean on this run game heavily. I think there's a very, very low ceiling for this team, but that ceiling just might be a wild card run, which would be absolutely fantastic, and kind of a big FU to Russell Wilson over there in Denver, whose season is not doing anything special right now. So I like the Seahawks right now in number 14. Okay, at number 13, I got the Miami Dolphins up a couple spots here. Nice home win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Maybe a little closer than they would have liked it to be. Tua was back. Tua looked better. Things seemed to run better most of the time for the offense. They kind of struggled a bit. They got out to a nice early 10-0 lead, and there was kind of a slog in the middle there. But Pittsburgh's going to try and play good defense. They're going to try and make life difficult for you. So it makes a little bit of sense, and you expect it to be clunky. Tua's been out a few weeks now after that head injury and the concussion, so I expect him to get back on track. The defense is still really, really good. Football team, couple interceptions late to ice this game, only gave up 10 points. Really strong performance from the defense. They play man, they get after the quarterback. They're a whole handful to deal with most of the time. And honestly, once Tua's back, this team was 3-0 before Tua's injury. So they're right back on track now at 4-3 in the AFC East. It is a very tough division. They're in third place right now at 4-3. But I like what they're doing. They seem to have a team identity. Maybe I'd like them to commit to the run a little bit more with Mostert and Edmonds. But other than that, I like this team. I think this is a wild card team. I think this is a very good football team all around, just not necessarily an elite team. Okay, number 12, I got the Tennessee Titans up 4 spots here this week at number 12. Honestly, give it to Mike Vrabel and his boys. They lost first 2 games of the season. They're now won 4 in a row. They're 4-2. They just beat the Colts at home. And guess what? They're in first place in the division. Surprise, surprise. The Tennessee Titans, everyone had them buried. They're back. They're running the football. They're starting to get the offense figured out with Tannehill and Robert Woods and all those sorts of guys. It's really starting to come together. The defense has been so much better, absolutely stifling opponents the last 4 weeks. So I really think this Tennessee team has righted the ship. We know what Derrick Henry can do. Now, he hasn't been quite the guy he was last season to start the season, but man, Henry just seems to get better and better as the year goes on, as he gets healthier. When the months get colder and people are more beat up, Derrick Henry still seems to be fresh and be able to run over people. So this is a Tennessee Titans team that I think is going to be trending up most of the season, and they might hit their stride once again as they have in so many years past, heading into the playoffs. Now, we know what the limitations are with this team, what this offense are ultimately, but still, I think this is a good football team. They probably now should win this division. I've been all over the place. I thought for sure the Jags were winning this division, but now it looks like it's the Titans division to stay, because now Matt Ryan's gone in Indianapolis. He's getting benched for Sam Ehlinger. It just seems like a disaster of a division, and it must be nice to always be playing the AFC South and those shit teams. But again, Titans at 12, like this team a good bit. Okay, I got the Rams here at number 11. I got to put the Rams up 1 spot, even though they were on a bye here. Just have to do some finagling with what other teams do. and the Rams ended up getting boosted up a spot. Again, they've had a lot of issues offensively. Matt Stafford has not been good. They've been turning the ball over way too much. But hey, they have a decent record. Now they're in second place in the NFC West, so maybe they got to get their shit together. And they got the Niners coming up, which is a real tough matchup, obviously, especially after the way the Niners looked last week. I think the Rams are going to really need to bring it this weekend. I still like the defense. They still have a good offense. They still have Cooper Kupp. They still have a good head coach. But this is kind of a fringe team that if they're not careful, they could find themselves on the outside looking in. I still don't trust them fully yet, but I think they're good enough here at number 11. But a lot to worry about with the Rams as far as I'm concerned. A lot of question marks. Okay, at number 10, the San Francisco 49ers. Good God, San Francisco, down 3 spots this week. You're all over the place. You're a friggin' roller coaster, man. I had you up at 4, I had you down in the 20s, had you back up at 7, and then you get blown out at home against the Chiefs. Now, I get it. The Chiefs are fantastic. We all know that. And I love the move San Francisco made to trade for Christian McCaffrey. They really didn't give up too much. Basically, they don't have a draft next year, but hey, who the hell cares if your Super Bowl window is now? McCaffrey's going to add a whole bunch of this offense, but they do still feel limited offensively with Jimmy Garoppolo. He still makes bad interception throws. He doesn't make the best reads all the time. When he's off, he's off. When he's on, he's on. So that's a good thing with the Niners. Sometimes he can be great. Sometimes he is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. So it really is Jekyll and Hyde at quarterback. They're going to have to keep leaning on the run game. McCaffrey is a huge boost to that. He can also play wide receiver. We can play Debo at running back. It's just a mismatch problem for defenses. You don't know how to handle this. The alignments are going to be freaky. I'm sure Shanahan's going to be able to draw some crazy stuff up. The defense is super beat up. They got to get this defense healthy. That's really the problem here. They're so banged up on the defense. Now, all these guys, most of these guys, should be coming back here later in the season. They're still only a half a game back in the division for first place. Actually, they might be a game back now. Not fully sure on that one. But still, I like this team a lot. It's all to play for here. Can't really trust the Seahawks quite yet, and the Rams are really having a problem, so I still think this is the best team in the NFC West. They just got to be more consistent. They got to get healthier, but I do like the addition of Christian McCaffrey. It is a mismatch nightmare for most teams, and the NFC is wide open, man. Outside of the Eagles, it's a real crapshoot on who the next best team is, so there's plenty to play for, and it's all for the taking for the Niners. Okay, number 9, cracking the top 10. Call me crazy. It's the New York Football Jets. Yes, the Jets, Jets. I got them up 4 spots here. Nice win on the road at Denver. Russell Wilson didn't play, and we know Denver always kind of struggles. But man, I like this team because they have an identity. Zach Wilson has kind of struggled a bit. He's really not lighting the world on fire in his second season. He may not be the guy at quarterback, but he's doing okay. But man, the run game and the defense for the Jets, Quinnen Williams on the defensive line has been an absolute terrorist in the backfield of opposing quarterbacks, just living back there. Teams can't get any sort of pass protection against the Jets. And when they are able to pass the ball, Sauce Gardner's putting a lock and key down on your best receiver. He's having a fantastic season. Probably going to be your defensive rookie of the year. He's a lights out corner. So the Jets really are going there. And it is unfortunate they did just lose rookie running back Breece Hall, who was probably your favorite to win the offensive rookie of the year. He's been a monster the last 4 weeks. He's done for the season with a torn ACL. But Michael Carter's more than capable running back, and they did just trade for James Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars, who was kind of getting phased out of the offense, leaning much more to ETN in Jacksonville. So I love that move here. He really provides a great balance with Michael Carter. This is a running football team. They play defense, and that's all you need to do to win games in the NFL. They're 5-2. Their record is what their record is. Fantastic start for the season for the Jets. The division is tough, but hey, man, if you can keep winning games, you're going to find yourselves ending, like I said, the longest playoff drought in the NFL. So don't sleep on the Jets. This is a legit football team. They are going to struggle some weeks, up and down, inconsistencies at quarterback. But man, if you can get Zach Wilson really starting to hum with those wide receivers to pair with that run game, to pair with that defense, the Jets could really have something going in New York for years to come. But for now, number 9. Okay, up 8 spots, up to number 8, up 3 spots is the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, the Ravens took care of business this week against Cleveland, but they tried real hard to give away a double-digit lead. Once again, a phantom off-false start call against the Browns really sunk their game. One of the worst calls I've ever seen. Would have given the Browns a first down and a chance to make a much easier field goal and send the game into overtime, but it was not to be because, it is the Browns and the NFL hates the Browns. Baltimore, please God, you gotta figure out how to protect a lead. They're doing good on offense. The defense is playing much, much better, keeping scores reasonable. But man, they are struggling mightily. Once they get a big lead late, they seem to totally collapse. I don't know what is going on with Harbaugh, what's going on with Lamar. They are technically in first place in the division, but they're tied with a team I think is better than them. The problem is, if they can't get it figured out how to hold on to these leads late, they're not beating any good teams because they will just come back on them and beat them. So I'm going to keep the Ravens here at number 8 because, man, they just have so much talent and they fail to deliver. But 8 is still good enough. They're doing better than those other letdown teams. But 8 for the Ravens. Okay, number 7, the Cincinnati Bengals. I've been talking about it for weeks now. They're up 2 spots. This team is absolutely humming right now. They're 3-4 on the season. They had a rough start to the season, but man, Joe Burrow was lights out. He had like 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, and that was just in the first half against the Atlanta Falcons. Had a massive, massive day. The offense is what we were expecting it to be. Jamar Chase, back-to-back monster games. We got Tyler Boyd in the mix. He had a huge day. T. Higgins was solid. The only person that's not really going for this offense is Joe Mixon. And if they can get that running game going, the offensive line's starting to play better. They're starting to protect better. The play calling has been light years better. The defense they're not playing as good as they were at the start of the season, but they're still playing pretty lights out ball. Just a dominating performance against a pesky Falcons team that people tend to like. They honestly could have been losing at halftime if they didn't get a lucky break there. But once they got things going in the second half, they put away the Falcons. So I like this team a lot. They're really trending in the right direction. The offense is amazing. They got to get the defense playing a little better. They got to stop making stupid mistakes, because if they don't and they get this thing righted, they could really upset one of the top dogs in the AFC once again and find themselves playing in another AFC title game. Don't think they're getting back to the Super Bowl this year. Man, I really like what they got offensively in Cincinnati. Okay, the next 3 teams here, they have been all kind of next to each other the last few weeks. This is kind of like a 3-tier teams. You can play eeny, meeny, miny, moe, musical chairs with all 3 of these teams, how you want to rank them. They all got a similar record. They all kind of play different styles of football, so it's really kind of hard to tell. But guess what? They all play each other coming up here, so we're really going to get to figure this thing out. But at number 6, the New York Giants. Yes, the Giants are 6-1. I'm still going to keep them here at number 6. It was a nice win at Jacksonville, but they struggled for most of this game. They ended up taking the lead very late. Jacksonville gave it back. Bad coaching decision going for it on fourth down from the 4-yard line in a 6-point game, or in a 5-point game. They could have kicked a field goal, made it a 2-point game, then kicked a field goal to win the game. I didn't like that call from Brian Dable, but his offense went down. They scored a touchdown. They ended up winning the game. And the Jaguars almost went the length of the field if it wasn't for some great defense. Well-coached team, though, getting the stop on Christian Kirk at the 1-yard line on the last play of the game to keep the Jags from upsetting the Giants there at the end. So they are 6-1. They're oozing confidence. Daniel Jones is running the ball well, man. He's not playing the best quarterback. They really don't have the wide receiver talent, but Daniel Jones can run the ball, and Saquon Barkley is back, man. They are pounding the rock with Saquon. They're a real problem. The defense is solid, not necessarily all world, but they play really good. They're really good in spots. They get stops when they need to get stops. So this team is very limited talent-wise, but 6-1 is 6-1. They do have a home loss against the team in the division in front of them, I think, despite the record being worse. I like this Giants team. People are selling them a little short. I think I might be selling them a little short here. But hey, man, it's hard to believe in a team like this Giants team when you really don't see a lot of talent or anything. It's kind of ugly every week, but they win football games, man. So I'm going to keep the Giants here at number 6 for now. They could very well go way up. They could very well go way down. Okay, at number 5 here, got the Dallas Cowboys at number 5 still. Nice win at home against Detroit. Dak was back. They really struggled for 3.5 quarters, though, offensively. Couldn't get anything going. Defense played lights out. The Lions are kind of bad offensively nowadays. I guess everyone's got them figured out. And they handed them a couple of gifts. Lions were going into the end zone to take this lead in the fourth quarter. They refused to challenge a play that looked like was a touchdown and then fumbled on the next play, and it was all she wrote from there. So a game a lot closer than the Cowboys wanted it to be, but I still think this is a great team. They play fantastic defense. The offense was the concern. Now, it was Dak's first week back, so I'm not going to kill him for it, but I'm not going to bump him up either. I need to see more from the Dak and the offense. Turn the ball over could cause some problems here. They are going to be prone to take more risks down the field with Dak back. You got to stick on the run game. The run game is what makes you good. It's how you win football games. I don't really trust Dak, honestly, at this point. He was awful week 1. If he turns the ball over more going downfield, it's going to hurt you in the long run. This defense is great, but I don't know if they're going to be great if they got to face short fields and bad, quick turnaround. So, like the Cowboys a lot, offense needs to improve. Defense is all world right now. So, I have them at number 5 still, just because I seem to like offense a little bit more than defense when it's all said and done. Okay, number 4, I'm going to keep my Vikings at number 4 here. They were on a bye this week, and they pretty much won the bye. The Packers lost, the Lions lost. The Bears' upset win didn't help things. Other than that, they would have picked up a half game on the whole division. Have a nice lead already, just 7 weeks into the season. 2.5 game lead in the division. Pretty big for a division that we thought was going to be a lot more competitive. I like this team. They win a lot of close games. Wins are wins, man, in this league. It's hard to win football games. And when it's all said and done, can you win in crunch time? The Vikings have won every game in crunch time. The offense hasn't hit its top form yet. This offense is an offense that could score 35, 40 points a game with the likes of the Chiefs. They just have to put it all together. The offensive line has been really good. The run game's been okay, but the offensive passing game is what it relies on. Kirk Cousins has been really good offensively. Justin Jefferson, we all know about the man, JJ. Adam Thielen still strong. KJ Osborne, decent. They need a tight end. I'd like for them to trade for a tight end. Defense is going to be the downfall for this team. They play soft cover too. They give up so much underneath shit. But hey, when it's down to the wire, they seem to make plays, force turnovers, get stops to win and hold on to football games. So it's a huge turnaround from last year. But I think when it's all said and done, the defense will be the demise of this team. But for right now, got them at number 4. It's really a crapshoot. Teams 4, 5, and 6. But they all play each other, so we can really sort this thing out. Let's get into our Elite 3. These 3 teams clearly head and shoulders above everybody else. Okay, number 3. I know, they're the only undefeated team. They were on a bye this week. Don't kill me, folks. The Philadelphia Eagles. I'm dropping them a spot here to number 3. Eagles are undefeated, but they've looked very human. Bad missed field goal from the Cardinals from sending them into overtime. They've given them multiple second-half leads. They bled away a 30-point lead against the Lions week 1. They almost did the same against the Cowboys 2 weeks ago. So this team's really got to figure out how to hang on to leads. I guess they're still hanging on to leads, but they got to keep their foot on the gas. They seem to let the foot off the gas. Great all-around team, good offensive line, good run game, good wide receivers, good defense, good D-line, good secondary. They're good everywhere and pretty damn good at quarterback. Jalen Hurts is not an elite quarterback, but he's good enough, man. They are undefeated. I think they're the best team in the NFC. They've beaten the Cowboys. They've beaten the Vikings. So they've beaten the other top teams in the NFC. So they're probably the best team in the NFC. I think that's safe to say. They're a really good football team. They should be in the NFC Championship game. I just think when it's all said and done at the end of the day, they're just not elite enough at quarterback to put them over the top. So I'm going to keep the Eagles here at number 3. Great all-around team. Just kind of missing the dudes that are on these next 2 teams. Okay, number 2, my Kansas City Chiefs. Oh man, I love Patrick Mahomes and I love me the Chiefs. Absolute thumping of the 49ers in San Francisco. Once again, Patrick Mahomes down by 10 points in this game, down 10-0. No problem. He picks up the dub. He's at almost 60% on his career when trailing by 10 points at any point in an NFL game, and nobody is even close to that. I think next is Tom Brady. He's in the 30% of the time he wins the game. So it's just unbelievable how good him and Andy Reid are at winning games. They're down double digits. It doesn't matter. They've seen it before. They just keep playing. The sky is the limit for this team. The defense is going to be the question mark down the stretch. I know this offense is going to score points, and I know they're going to score points when I need them to score points. It's the defense. Can they get a stop against Buffalo when they need to get a stop to win the game? That's the biggest question mark for this team. We've seen it once already this year, and the answer was no. So I'm going to keep them here at number 2. I think they're definitely better than the Eagles. I really like this Chiefs team. They're a fantastic football team. So good. But they're just, I got to keep them at 2 here because they lost to our top dogs once again. They were on a bye, but we all know who it is. All right, number 1, once again, the Buffalo Bills. Yup, they were on a bye. They cruised through the weekend here, no problems. This team is just so deep across the board. They're still a little banged up. I'd like them to get a little bit healthier. But man, the offense is great. Josh Allen is head and shoulders above the competition in his division. He's such a great quarterback, a physical specimen. He can throw the ball. He runs the ball great. Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis really lights out at wide receiver. This team needs to establish the running game a little bit more with Singletary. I think that would help them out a good bit there. The defense is great. They stop people. Leslie Frazier knows what he's doing at this point in the league. They should be in the AFC title game again. I expect a full rematch with them and the Chiefs. And the game's going to be in Buffalo now, most likely. All I got to do is finish tied with the Chiefs, and they will be hosting. So all to play for the Buffalo Bills. The sky is the limit. I know you don't want to hear a Bills fan, but I'd be very disappointed if you didn't get to the Super Bowl this year. You know, Super Bowl or bust feels wrong to say, but it definitely feels like Bills are Super Bowl or bust. I like this team a lot. I'm going to keep them here at number 1 for now. I think they're going to finish this season probably at number 1. I would be shocked if they fall any lower than 3. All right, that's going to do it for us today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who am I too high on? Who am I too low on? Am I overselling anybody here? Maybe I'm underselling the Giants, man. I just don't really know. I think those teams are all way too close to tell. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, like this video if you haven't already. Share this video with your friends. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel out a lot. We're growing like crazy, and we will be back next week for week number 9 of Pete's Power Rankings.